A chance for severe storms, locally heavy rainfall, and sweater weather. Yeah, October's starting off with a bang, and oh boy, are my happy summers over. Let's talk about it in this Tuesday edition of the Texas Weather Roundup. Good morning. It is Tuesday, the 3rd of October, 2023. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Baldy in Chief David Reimer. I'll give you one guess as to why I might be called Baldy in Chief, but it might have something to do with my mostly bald head. Now, let's actually talk about something that matters, and that's going to be the weather over the next few days across Texas. If you live in Texas, there is a good chance you have already gotten rain in the last 48 hours, or you're going to be getting rain by the time we get into Friday. Let's just pop in. Let's talk about it day by day. We're going to start off with today. This is the severe weather outlook, the latest from the Storm Prediction Center for this afternoon through late this evening, generally looking at about 3 p.m. through 11 p.m. for our primary time frame. The potential for scattered severe storms east of a dry line across the eastern Texas Panhandle, parts of northwest Texas, generally right off the Cap Rock, west central Texas, the Permian Basin, down into southwest Texas, the Big Bend area. Not going to see too many storms, probably. But those storms that we do get going are going to probably be severe this afternoon, this evening. The potential for hail up to the size of tennis balls, localized damaging wind gusts over 60 miles per hour, and we can't totally rule out a tornado. The highest relative tornado threat, still quite low, would be across the eastern Texas Panhandle as storms work to move into western Oklahoma this evening. Also expecting a comparatively higher tornado threat across portions of northwestern Oklahoma and western Kansas this evening. Let's take a look at the high-res rapid refresh model. That'll give us a good idea of what we're expecting. Now, we are going to have scattered to, at times, numerous showers and storms this afternoon across parts of southeast Texas, the coastal plains, middle and upper Texas coast. Not associated with what we're going to be dealing with in the rowdy thunderstorm department further west later today. You can see we've got storms firing up by mid-afternoon, generally moving to the east for a couple hours, and then they dissipate generally by about 11 p.m. as they encounter a increasing amount of a lid on the atmosphere, a cap, subsidence, as they move further east and we start to stabilize for the nighttime hours without a big source of upper level lift, like areas farther north where we're going to have a cold front. Storms tend to weaken during the late evening hours, and that's what we're expecting this evening. But while they're around, they're probably going to be rowdy with big hail, localized damaging winds, non-zero tornado potential. Should be mostly quiet after midnight across most of Texas, the exception being perhaps some storms in the Panhandle Wednesday morning as Crashy the cold front begins to arrive from the north. Now, let's talk about tomorrow's severe weather potential. Now, this is going to be a bit more of a complex forecast because we need to see just how things evolve today, the overall timing and location of the cold front tomorrow afternoon, late tomorrow morning, really into tomorrow afternoon, and how destabilized the atmosphere can become. At this point, the Storm Prediction Center is highlighting the potential for scattered severe thunderstorms across northwest Texas into west Texas, the northern big country, with the potential for isolated severe storms across Texoma, North Texas, the Concho Valley, down into the Permian Basin. Like today, the strongest storms could be capable of producing damaging straight-line winds, hail, maybe a tornado. And again, this is going to probably get refined somewhat as we continue through the day. We get a new one of these at about 12:30 p.m. Central, and then tomorrow. And again, wouldn't be surprising to see the scattered level 2 risk zone expand a bit depending on which solution in weather model land verifies. I'm going to show you a more aggressive weather model, and this is going to be for Wednesday off the high-res rapid refresh model. You can see this model's got a map lit up like a Christmas tree by lunchtime. Really, across the eastern Panhandle, storms get going and become quite numerous by mid-afternoon as Crashy the cold front starts moving southeast. You can see we have a big old line of storms pretty much from the Arklatex all the way through Texoma, North Texas, the Concho Valley by late Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday night moving southeast. If this were to verify, we would most definitely see that severe weather outlook expanded to the south and east for tomorrow. These storms certainly capable of producing hail, damaging winds, heavy rainfall, perhaps brief tornadoes. We'd have to see just how the low-level environment were to set up. And you also note we have more scattered showers and storms across southeast Texas, the coastal plains, East Texas tomorrow afternoon ahead of these line of storms. And some of that rain could be quite heavy. So today, isolated to scattered storms east of the dry line. Tomorrow is when we're going to start seeing more numerous showers and storms in the rowdy storm department, not excluding, the stuff today and tomorrow across southeast Texas, the coastal plains, and the Golden Triangle that could produce heavy rainfall. After tomorrow, here's Thursday through Friday from the North American model. This is a less detailed weather model. That's why everything's more blobby. But the general expectation is the cold front's going to continue moving southeast into Thursday and Friday. With it, precipitation chances will move into the southeastern third to the southeastern half of Texas on Thursday. And then by Friday, rain chances should be confined to the Rio Grande Valley, the Rio Grande Plains, deep south Texas, perhaps spreading in from Mexico into the Edwards Plateau at times on Friday and Saturday. Here are the forecast rain totals through 7 a.m. Friday from the Weather Prediction Center. You can see that big old blob of doom across southeast Texas, the Victoria Crossroads, the coastal plains. That is going to be associated with precipitation today, tomorrow, those scattered storms we were talking about. Further north, all that is going to be associated with the cold front and the increasing thunderstorm chances beginning, this afternoon across the western third of Texas, and then mostly tomorrow and Thursday elsewhere. And you can see we're expecting a pretty good amount of rain out of this. Generally speaking, Texoma, North Texas, the Arklatex, Northeast Texas, at this point, we're looking at widespread 2 to 4 inch rainfall totals, localized rainfall amounts over 5 inches possible, and that could certainly result in at least minor flooding for some areas. Of course, if we end up with, say, 6 inches of rain falling in the middle of the DFW Metroplex in the span of 3 hours, well, this minor flooding would end up being something quite a bit more problematic, but that's the urban problem for it. It's just like New York City had last week. Otherwise, we need the rain. This is good. This makes me happy. You can see at this point, the borderland, far west Texas, the Panhandle, not much additional rainfall after this morning in terms of widespread rains. Some folks had some pretty good rains overnight into this morning. Now, here is through 7 a.m. Sunday, so we're also adding in Friday, Saturday night into this. You can see we have additional rainfall across the Edwards Plateau, the Rio Grande Plains down to deep south Texas, the Rio Grande Valley. That helps bump those rainfall totals up a bit as well. Not too much more additional rain expected across the northern half of Texas as we get into most of Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So the Red River rivalry, welcome to my speech impediment of ours, will probably go without a hitch, although it is going to be much cooler. It is not going to feel like summer, which makes me a happy Baldy in Chief. Temperatures over the next 5 days. Here's some more good news. Excluding today, it's going to be hot. 90s, even a couple of low triple digits across deep south Texas. It still makes me unhappy. Here's tomorrow. We're starting to see the cold front move in with increased precipitation chances across the Panhandle, West Texas, etc. Highs tomorrow in the 70s behind the cold front there. Otherwise, still 80s and 90s across the state. But now we can see the difference starting to come on in. Thursday, high temperatures, northern half of Texas, 70s to low 80s. And the exact high temperature for some of these areas will depend on what time the cold front arrives, but it would not be a surprise that the high temperature for some places ends up being at, say, 8 a.m. with falling temperatures behind the cold front. Still 80s and 90s across the southern half of Texas ahead of that cold front on Thursday, but again, high temperature may occur earlier in the day depending on the front's arrival at your location. Words are difficult. And then here is Friday. High temperatures in the 60s across the Panhandle, 70s all the way down into the hill country, the Brazos Valley. Low to mid to maybe upper 80s across the southeastern third of Texas before a reinforcing shot of cooler air arrives for Saturday. How about this? High temperatures Saturday, 60s and 70s for the northwestern two-thirds of Texas. These are not low temperatures. These are the high temperatures on Saturday. Yes, a high temperature of 79 on Saturday in Houston, 73 in San Antonio, probably right around 70 in the DFW Metroplex, 60s across the Permian Basin, West Texas, the Panhandle, probably even some 60s in the hill country, especially in some of the higher terrain for high temperatures, but oh, guess what? Here are the low temperatures Saturday morning, and keep in mind Sunday morning may be a bit cooler across South Texas. Lows in the 40s across the Panhandle, West Texas, Northwest Texas, and in the Arklatex, 52 to 54 in the DFW Metroplex. We're looking at a low of 57 in Austin, about 60 in San Antonio, 60 in Houston, about 59 to 65 in Corpus Christi. Once you get right along the coast, the temperatures are going to be a little bit warmer, but still probably in the 60s. And then, I mean, here you go. It's a beaut, isn't it? And then for fun, here are the high temperatures on Sunday. 70s across the entire state of Texas. A few lucky folks won't get out of the 60s. And yes, those 70s do include the Rio Grande Valley, Brownsville, McAllen. Your summer is finally about to come to an end. So there you go. You know what? Finally, it took until October, but I can happily say Crashy the cold front is on the way. And yeah, I like that rhyme. Yes, I do. As always, you can keep an eye on the sky with the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. We're going to have chasers out and about today and tomorrow chasing those storms. So we'll have live video on the Texas Storm Chasers YouTube channel and mobile app and website. Severe weather coverage, if necessary, will also be provided on all of our social media outlets and on the website and free mobile app. Remember, you can download the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app by searching for Texas Storm Chasers in your device's app store. You can get your local weather forecast down to the neighborhood, which will give you a better idea of just when it may be raining where you are, along with the temperatures over the next several days. But summer is about to end. We'll chat with you all again later today, no doubt. And as always, feel free to tune in for the next Texas Weather Roundup, scheduled by 7 a.m. Wednesday. We'll be chatting with you all sooner than that, though, probably. You all make it a good Tuesday. God bless. Keep an eye on the weather the next few days.